Well, good to talk to you again. Good to see you on a beautiful day, not as hot as it was last year.
I know, right?
So I wanted to ask you, one of the things that stood out to me on the most recent release of the roster, the weight updates, was Jaz Patterson losing about 10 pounds in the offseason, close to 10 pounds. What was the thought process with that? Did you feel like he was playing a little heavy last year? What was the thought process behind that?
You're actually introducing me to something I didn't necessarily know. Is it actually 10 pounds less?
It was listed as 9 pounds. I believe it was down from maybe 202 to 193. Don't quote me exactly on that. But.
Okay. Well, whatever he's weighing, he looks pretty good right now. You know, he's back healthy, running around. And for me, I don't necessarily focus on the weight. I just focus on how they move around and how they play. If they're playing fast, I don't care what they weigh. I just want them to be at a comfortable weight that, one, they can sustain themselves through a grueling season, but more importantly, play effectively and play fast.
Right now, as far as depth, I know you've been asked this question, you'll be asked it again, but would you say Kamari and KJ are kind of sharing snaps with the twos? Leshon is number one, and then Jaz is working in with everything else? Or
right now, to be honest with you, I kind of give everybody a share with the ones, just to try to see who. I want to give everybody a fair chance to show what they can do. I don't want to pigeonhole somebody right now because we're still 2-3 weeks out from playing a football game. But those guys are getting plenty of reps. Each one of them are getting reps with the ones and twos, because to me that's only fair. You have to see how they look with both and let the chips fall where they may. I think there's a lot of depth in the room, guys that have started games for us, especially Leshon and KJ have started plenty of games. But there's some guys on their heels too, and that's good for the room.
It sounds like Brevin Dahl has impressed some people with his speed, even coming off a pretty serious injury. What does he look like with your group?
He's been pretty good. Well, he's a freshman, so of course there's still more to learn, but he's been really good. I mean, the first thing that jumps out to you is the speed, because speed is hard to come by. I mean, that's not something you can coach. That's not something you're either born with that or you're not, and he's got it. So that thing jumps off the screen when you see him run.
You're having to share Terrell and Brevin a little bit. How has that gone? Are they in your meeting room, or are they in the other meeting room? Or
they've done both. Terrell actually has a little bit more of a base because he started off in my room, so he has a little better understanding of all the running back responsibilities. So it's a little bit easier for him to fluctuate back and forth. Brevin, on the other hand, is really just kind of getting his feet wet for the first time with both positions. So for him, he's a little bit behind the 8 ball because he's a freshman, but he's doing a great job, and TJ's coming along too. We're just trying to find ways that we can utilize all of our athletes.
How's this new offense for the running backs in terms of the passing game?
The biggest difference really is just the responsibilities. What are we being asked to do in terms of what route are you supposed to run on this particular play? Who are you supposed to block in this particular protection? But as far as like what we work on, I mean, we need to run the ball. We need to be able to pass protect. We need to be able to catch the ball. So that doesn't change no matter which offense you're in. But where you fit in each particular play, that changes, and that's what we're trying to iron out the details on now.
I'm guessing what I'm getting at is, are there more opportunities to catch the ball out of the backfield?
There are. We're trying to find ways to get them the ball. Any athlete that we have, especially the running backs, we're trying to find ways to get them the ball in space, not just hand the ball off to them. So whether it's through a screen, whether it's motioning them out, getting them one-on-one matchups with the linebackers, anything we can do to get the ball into a playmaker's hand in space, that's what we're trying to do.
Growth with Kamari, what have you seen?
Kamari's
growth.
Oh, aside from the weight that he's put on?
Yeah. Has he put on good weight?
He has. He's fairly lean when he first got here. He's still a slight frame kid, but he's bulking up the right way, and he's just growing, in my opinion. I think that if I had to say he had a weakness coming out, would be his catching the ball and route running, and those are things that he's worked on, and those are things that he and I have talked about. And to me, you wouldn't even know it was a weakness at this point. He's really come along great.
Is Leshon, what is he able to do at this point? Anything?
Leshon, he's dealing with a little bit of soft tissue injury, and those things are always tricky, but I'm not concerned about Leshon. Leshon's this is his 5th year. He's played plenty of football. He knows a lot of nuances that some of the younger guys don't. So he's a guy that he's taken quite a few reps over the years. He's taken some reps in the spring in this offense. He's taken some reps in the beginning of the camp too. So he knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of making sure we keep him healthy.
What have you Kaleb, what have you seen out of him so far?
KJ's rolling. He's I think he's had a really good camp. He's playing fast, which is what you always want out of KJ. And the biggest thing you're trying to do is get him to play physical, and he's playing more physical too. So I like what I see from KJ right now. He's rolling.
Has he showcased the ability to put his foot in the ground and change direction? It seemed like maybe he was more of your straight line, long. He's obviously a long strider, but has he, you think, become more innovative as it relates to being able to change direction?
I think so. I mean, KJ's a longer body running back. He's never going to be like the water bug, make guys miss in a phone booth type player. That's not his style. But he's a one-cut runner. He's a slasher, and I think he's getting better at being decisive. And always preaching patience to the hole, speed through the hole. And so right now he's playing fast. He's starting to understand where those creases are, and that's what you want. And if we keep that rolling, we'll like what we see on game day.
Caleb obviously has basically, every physical trait you would want in the world. Like, what do you feel like the key is for him to make that jump to be at the top of the conference now?
Consistency. That's all it is, consistency. Last year he got hurt midway through the season, missed out on about 4 games, and then we tried to bring him back in, and now we're in a whole new offense now. So it's just consistency. It's all details. KJ, like you said, has all the physical tools. It's never been about that. It's always been about consistency.
How does he just kind of fit into this?
Jazz, tough, hard-nosed runner. Definitely a one-cut runner too. When in doubt, he's going to get north and south, and you love that about him. He's physical. He's kind of that bring your lunch pail to work kind of a guy. So you always like Jazz. He's a tone setter, and I think he'll find a way to contribute this year as well.
Go ahead, Tyler.
It looked like he lost a little weight, but based on the measurements, is that anything he came to you about or wanting to do?
No, he never came to me about that. Like I said earlier, and I'll repeat it again, I focus on how the guys move and how comfortable they feel at their weight. I let the strength conditioning staff handle the weight requirements or whatever else. But he looks good, he looks fast, he looks lean, and as long as he can play fast and physical, that's all I care about.
Pre-fall camp depth chart did list Kamari ahead of Jazz. Jazz was not on that depth chart. What caused that, or what I should say? Is there a shift that moved Kamari up ahead of Jazz, at least at that point?
Nothing in particular. It's just guys working, and you can't play favorites. You can't worry about what year people are in. Sometimes there's injuries that affect that type of thing too. But really, Kamari's coming along and Jazz coming along too.
And I spoke with Xavier here a few months back, obviously a freshman, but a big-bodied freshman.
Right.
And we were talking a little bit about maybe some reminiscence of you in your career as far as big body type. Do you see any similarities with him and you, looking back at you at a young age, and what is his potential here?
I think he's going to have a good future. He's got thick lowers, you know what I mean? And I think guys in practice are starting to realize when he sticks his foot in the ground and comes north and south at you, he's a load. He's a solid, well-built kid, and he's got a Division I body already. Came in here about 225, about 6 feet, 225. So he's solid, and better get out of his way if he's got a full head of steam.
Thanks, Ladell.
Yep.